What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So a lot of people have been asking about additional relief to the American people, whether it's more stimulus checks, extending the unemployment benefits, the upcoming and possible extension of a child tax credit, more rental assistance, more nutrition assistance, that expanding pretty much any stimulus package that has been put before us. Everybody's asking, is more coming? Well, I wanted to break down what is currently being talked about amongst some groups. Now, lawmakers are trying to get this infrastructure package passed. Democrats want to get it passed. Republicans, according to some, just want to stall it and delay. Others would like to see this passed. I know Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, he is not opposed to passing an infrastructure package. He feels infrastructure is essential for the United States to be competitive with other countries, for example, China. However, he is not open to creating some big trillion or multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure plan because the federal government just can't do that because of our deficit that we are currently in. Now, here's what I want you to understand. Currently, there's roughly it's a little bit over $600 billion sitting in the government account. This is money that was previously allocated to the American people, to the economy, to just different things to try to prop up the economy and provide stimulus so that we can ultimately get back to the lives we once led. Well, here's the issue. I bring this up because all Democrats are saying we want to provide more stimulus or we want to provide more relief to the American people. Whether it's through a stimulus check or some other form of assistance doesn't matter, but they want to provide more assistance to the American people. They say the American people need more help. And whether this assistance comes from them or comes directly from the states doesn't matter, but many are saying that the American people could use a fourth stimulus check. Well, this is where the fight's on. Here's the issue. Experts are saying that even though many lawmakers are talking about and planning for and proposing all these different stimulus packages, all these different ideas, right? Great ideas, awesome. Here's the problem. Experts are saying right now, not a single Democrat has actually proposed repurposing that $600+ billion government fund, repurpose that money and put it towards stimulus. Put it towards providing assistance to the American people. Nobody has done that. Democrats are wanting to repurpose that money for infrastructure. Cool. Republicans also want to repurpose that money for infrastructure. So we got both parties on board with a bipartisan agreement to repurpose $600 billion in previously spent stimulus funding that is now going to go towards infrastructure. Do you see where this becomes an issue, especially for the American people? What we are hearing this morning, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do a video this afternoon instead of this evening like I normally do. I might do one this evening, we don't know, but one of the reasons why is because this is pretty pressing information. Right now, there are reports that are indicating that many are completely upset with the Biden administration and Democrats because they pass all this stimulus money for different programs and different things. This goes into that stimulus package, whether it's passed under former President Donald Trump or the current administration, doesn't matter. But this money was previously passed. The lawmakers came out and touted and plotted these different programs that they're providing assistance to us. But yet the money is still sitting there in many cases, over $600 billion. This $600 billion, just to give you an idea, this would have covered, this would have covered a $1,400 stimulus check plus a $600 stimulus check. We would have received over $2,000 just from the money that is sitting there at the federal government. Let that sink in for a little bit. Right now, there's money just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. The federal government, the Treasury, the Federal Reserve keep saying money is so cheap that we can borrow. But yet the money is sitting there in an account from the federal government and yet nobody is willing to use it at this time. And so that brings up the question, is the Democratic Party, are the Republicans, is the government combined? Do they even care? Or, and here's the question, Or are lawmakers at this time simply telling the American people what the American people want to hear, but yet doing absolutely nothing about it just to gain a little bit more popularity for the upcoming midterm elections? That's the question. And let me ask you this, and you can comment down below. Which ones do you think is right? Do you think lawmakers are purposely just giving us this false information, false sense of security to win the upcoming election? Or do you honestly feel that they are trying to provide the best policies and the best legislation for the American people? I'm curious. You can always answer down in the comment section below. Now, with all the funding just sitting there, many are questioning why it is so difficult for lawmakers to come to an agreement, provide some additional help to the American people. Millions are still behind in rent. There are so many that are still struggling to pay utility payments, put food on the table, pay for their medications that are going to help them keep them alive. Food, nutrition assistance is available, but yet you have to qualify for it. Utility payments, utility assistance is available. Again, you have to qualify for it. Same thing with rental assistance and mortgage assistance. You have to qualify. And that's becoming a big issue. Some states aren't really accepting very many applicants to the rental assistance programs. And so a lot of these people are struggling to get back on their feet, not because there's not money available, it's because they can't qualify. And again, it's just another issue. Now, I hate giving people this answer, okay? But here's the truth, okay? One person asked this morning in the comments, and they asked, and I quote, "Why can't our Congress understand how desperate some of us are? We need more money for food and rent, but everybody is only thinking of themselves and not about us little people that put them into office. When will they give us more money for these things?" And again, I absolutely hate giving you guys an answer like this, but here it is. Here's the truth. Here's what's happening. Lawmakers know that millions of people need more help. They know this. This isn't a secret. This isn't something that is being kept from lawmakers. They understand this. They have seen this, many with their own eyes. But the problem is that the majority of lawmakers want to see how these upcoming child tax credit payments play out. How are they going to impact the federal government? How are they impact the American people and the U.S. economy? When they know this, when they know and this data comes back, then and only then, according to many, they are saying they can commit to more assistance. But until they have actual factual data from this, they're not going to support or oppose it. Now, experts believe that these payments, these child tax credit payments, are going to pull at least 40% of children out of poverty. That is great. I'm absolutely in love with that. I think that is perfect. I think that's great. That's going to help out the American people, children. As a father, I'm all for helping out children and families. But here's the thing. And some say this money should make living a little bit easier and better for a lot of these families. But on top of that, the unemployment benefits of $300 per week are still coming out. They're still coming out for many states until September 6th. And possibly they could get extended past that. We don't know. But what we are hearing is that lawmakers want to see the money, all the money, come out from these programs first. Once this money is out, it's into the American people's hands, into the economy, then we should be able to see what is needed over time. Now, these child tax credits come out in just 3 days, on Thursday. This is at least according to the IRS. Now, I'm expecting there's going to be some families that they just don't get this money. Now, you should have already received, either already over the past week or this week itself, you should start receiving a letter from the IRS or from the I think it says it comes from the White House. I'm not 100% sure. Let me check on that. But you get a letter from the Biden administration telling you how much money they expect you to receive. Okay, you should be getting that either last week or sometime this week. So make sure you check your mailbox. Now, this is going to be good. This is going to help out a lot of people. But here's the thing, okay? The thing is, many lawmakers are still frustrated with the other party, and they don't want to negotiate in good faith because the other party, they believe, is not negotiating in good faith either. So this is going to create a whole host of new issues. One thing I can tell you is as we start to get a little bit closer to potentially seeing the legislative text of this bill, which some White House aides are expecting this to come out next Monday, so in 7 days from today. If this is the case and we start to see what is really in this bill, what is really in the bipartisan bill, how's it going to be paid for, what's in this Democrat-only budget reconciliation bill, once we have these answers, it's going to make it very easy for lawmakers to figure out, okay, we don't need this, we don't need that, but yes, we do need Medicare. Okay, free community college, yeah, let's keep that. Oh, there's no stimulus checks in there. Well, we better look into that, right? What we're gonna see is more and more proposals will come out, most likely over the next month, okay? And the reason why I say the next month is because the Senate, just to give you an idea, the Senate has a lot of work to do. Lawmakers at this time, and this is a big thing that's come out over the past week, lawmakers at this time, they need to figure out what to do with this debt ceiling. You may have heard this, you may have seen this on the news. Well, back in 2019, lawmakers suspended our debt ceiling. And they suspended this for 2 years until the end of July 2021. Well, that's in like 19 days. This means if lawmakers can't agree on how to handle this, they can't increase this, and this is something that Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is trying to do. She wants to increase the debt ceiling. If this doesn't happen, then the Treasury won't be able to raise money that the Federal Reserve needs in order to continue to sell bonds. This will turn into a huge issue. And in a recent report, the Treasury, again, if it comes down to, okay, the federal government has no more money, the federal government has to turn to their reserves. Well, according to the recent reports, the Treasury only has roughly $674 billion in their reserves at this time. That is not enough. When the Federal Reserve is continuing to buy or spend about $120 billion per month, that is turning into a big issue because that's going to be about less than 6 months, and this money will be gone. And that's just from the bonds, right? That's just from that. And they're considering possibly tapering this sometime in this next year. So we'll see what happens, but right now it's not looking good, especially for the debt ceiling and what Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is trying to do. And now I bring this up because of this one thing. If lawmakers can't figure out a way to get through all this turmoil and figure out a way to get through this and get through this together, bond buying is going to stop. The stock market is going to crash, interest rates will rise, and we could potentially see the start of a downward spiral. This is not great news. What I can tell you is all this stuff needs to be taken care of as quickly as possible because the Senate goes on recess for their August recess. They go on recess on August 7th. What this means, we will not see the Senate in Washington. Doesn't mean they will not work. Doesn't mean they will not negotiate with each other. Doesn't mean they won't put plans in place. But what this means is, at least according to reports right now, if Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer does not decide to postpone or cancel the August recess, the Senate will go on recess from August 7th until September 12th. And experts are currently telling us that if this is the case, coming back in the middle of September, this would actually be too late to handle a lot of the most pressing issues. So we will see what happens, but what I can tell you right now is there's a lot of stuff to be discussed, and lawmakers are currently doing it. So hopefully they'll pick up the pace, get this done as soon as possible, and we, the American people, will not be forgotten. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.